Welcome to Have You Read It, the channel where we bring books to life, one summary at a time. Today we're exploring Kelly Clancy's Playing with Reality: How Games Have Shaped Our World. This book isn't just a history of games. It's a deep dive into how games, as a reflection of our minds, have shaped our understanding of everything from chance and economics to evolution, society, knowledge, intelligence, and even war. Clancy starts with Rhythmomachia, a medieval numbers game reflecting Pythagorean ideals of cosmic harmony. While Rhythmomachia itself was a complex and engaging educational tool, the Pythagorean dogma it embodied, specifically the belief that only rational numbers exist, blinded scholars to the reality of irrational numbers and held back scientific progress. This serves as an early warning. Games are powerful models that reward us for believing in them, shaping our thinking for better or worse. Games, Clancy argues, are more than just cultural artifacts. They're rooted in our biology, engaging our brain's reward systems and tapping into an ancient drive to play. Games are older than written language, transcending cultural and linguistic barriers. They've served as solace in times of hardship, as Herodotus's account of the Lydians suggests. This innate drive to play is linked to learning. Clancy defines a game as a system with a goal, where players make decisions under uncertainty to achieve that goal. This element of chance, whether from dice or an opponent's strategy, mirrors nature's own search algorithm, random mutation in evolution and randomization in scientific experiments. Play, she argues, is nature's way of exploring behavioral options in a safe environment, a kind of practice for the unexpected. It allows brains to build robust models of the world and develop adaptable strategies. Games, in turn, extend this exploration to the mental realm, helping humans develop cognitive skills like strategy, numeracy, and theory of mind. The book then shifts its focus to dopamine, often mischaracterized as the pleasure molecule. Clancy traces the history of dopamine research, starting with its initial dismissal as a mere chemical intermediary to its recognition as a crucial neurotransmitter involved in movement, motivation, and importantly, belief. The research of Arvid Carlsson and Ole Hornikiewicz demonstrated dopamine's crucial role in movement and its link to Parkinson's disease, highlighting how an ancient Ayurvedic medicine, sarpaganda, could deplete dopamine and induce catatonia. The connection between dopamine and learning was further clarified by Wolfram Schultz's research on reward prediction error. He found that dopamine neurons don't just respond to rewards, they respond to the difference between expected and actual rewards, signaling surprise. This surprise element is crucial for learning, as it indicates that something remains to be learned. This, Clancy explains, relates beautifully to reinforcement learning, a machine learning technique where programs learn through trial and error to maximize rewards. The reward prediction error signal used in reinforcement learning mirrors the activity of dopamine neurons, suggesting that the brain may use a similar algorithm. This has important implications for how we understand beliefs, values, and even addiction. Our brains, Clancy suggests, don't just predict the world. They reward us for believing in their predictions. This explains our fascination with games, which offer free pleasure by allowing us to make predictions in a controlled environment. It also explains why games can be addictive, as they tap into the same reward system as food, sex, and social belonging. This explains the historical prevalence of gambling and divination, using chance to navigate the unknown and glimpse the future. The earliest known game boards date back to Neolithic times, perhaps even linked to the development of mathematics and abstract thought. The invention of playing cards in 9th century China introduced games of incomplete information, further sharpening our theory of mind, our ability to reason about others' psychology. Clancy explores the evolution of probability theory, which emerged from the study of games of chance. Gerolamo Cardano's Liber de Ludo Aleae marks the earliest known analysis of odds and probabilities, driven by his own struggles with gambling addiction. Blaise Pascal and Pierre de Fermat's correspondence on the problem of points and the calculation of expected values established the mathematical foundation of decision-making under uncertainty. This transformed the concept of probability from a measure of the credibility of past events to a tool for predicting the future, laying the groundwork for decision theory and modern economics. The rise of probability theory also helped reveal quirks of human reasoning, like the gambler's fallacy, the mistaken belief that past events influence future probabilities in independent events like coin tosses. Thomas Bayes' theorem introduced the concept of updating beliefs based on new evidence, which would become crucial for fields ranging from spam filtering to scientific inference. However, Clancy cautions against the subjective nature of Bayesian priors, which can be used to hide biases, as seen in debates about the safety of new technologies or drugs. Kriegsspiel, the Prussian war game, serves as a powerful example of how games can be used to simulate and predict reality. Developed by Georg Leopold von Reiswitz and his son, Georg Heinrich Rudolf Johann von Reiswitz, Kriegsspiel evolved from a chess variant to a sophisticated simulation incorporating maps, dice, and realistic rules of engagement. Its adoption by the Prussian military transformed the nature of warfare, contributing to Prussia's victories in the Franco-Prussian War. The game's success led to its adoption by other countries, and it played a significant, though ultimately flawed, role in both world wars, revealing the dangers of overlooking crucial factors like social dynamics and long-term consequences in simulations. The book then explores game theory, pioneered by John von Neumann. Von Neumann, deeply affected by the rise of Nazism in Europe, sought to understand human behavior through the lens of mathematics. His minimax theorem, initially applied to two-player zero-sum games, provided a framework for predicting rational behavior in situations of pure conflict. This approach, along with his collaboration with Oscar Morgenstern on theory of games and economic behavior, established the foundation for modern economics, despite the theory's limitations and simplifying assumptions. Game theory's core assumption is that players are rational. That is, they make choices that maximize their expected utility. This, however, doesn't necessarily mean that these choices are logical or intelligent, as pointed out by Amartya Sen. In reality, human behavior often deviates from the predictions of game theory due to cognitive biases like temporal discounting and regret aversion. However, Clancy argues that these biases are not flaws, but rather features of our learning systems, often reflecting the dynamics of the dopamine reward system. The prisoner's dilemma, a classic game theory scenario, exemplifies the tension between individual and collective rationality. In this game, two players can either cooperate or defect. While mutual cooperation yields the best overall outcome, individual self-interest leads to mutual defection, resulting in a worse outcome for both players. While game theory predicts defection as the rational choice, experimental studies reveal that people tend to cooperate more often than predicted, especially in repeated interactions. This, Clancy argues, highlights the importance of social norms and the limitations of game theory as a model of human behavior. Games can reward us for certain behaviors. If a game encourages cooperation by making it intrinsically rewarding, players will be more cooperative. The book also discusses the zero-sum bias, the tendency to view situations as win-lose even when they are not, drawing a link between this bias and negative social outcomes like racism, nationalism, and reduced economic well-being. Garrett Hardin's Tragedy of the Commons, often cited as a justification for privatization, is presented as a cautionary example of how flawed game-theoretic models can be used to justify harmful policies. Elinor Ostrom's work on common pool resources, which emphasized the role of cooperation and local governance, provides a counterpoint, highlighting the importance of studying real-world examples rather than relying on abstract models. With the rise of nuclear weapons, game theory became a tool for strategists seeking to understand and manage the Cold War. The doctrine of mutually assured destruction emerged as a Nash equilibrium, where neither side would benefit from initiating a nuclear attack. However, the credibility of MAD depended on the willingness to retaliate, even if it meant mutual annihilation, raising ethical concerns and highlighting the limitations of purely rational approaches to conflict. Clancy then turns to artificial intelligence, exploring how games have served as both a training ground and a benchmark for machine intelligence. Early chess-playing programs, like Claude Shannon's and Alan Turing's, used minimax and evaluation functions to approximate human thought. Deep Blue's victory over Garry Kasparov in 1997 marked a milestone, but revealed little about the nature of intelligence, as Deep Blue relied on brute force computation rather than genuine understanding. The subsequent success of AlphaGo and Go, however, demonstrated the power of learning-based systems and their potential to surpass human expertise. Games, Clancy argues, have shaped not only our understanding of intelligence, but also our pursuit of it. The popularity of video games spurred advances in computing, inadvertently contributing to the development of more powerful AI systems. Reinforcement learning, which mimics the dopamine reward system, has enabled programs to master complex video games and even solve problems like protein folding with surprising accuracy. However, she warns of the potential dangers of creating systems that single-mindedly pursue goals without considering side effects or ethical implications. These AI systems, Clancy stresses, should not be seen as genuinely intelligent agents, but rather as reflections of the rules and values encoded by their human creators. The book concludes by examining how mechanism design, a subfield of game theory, can be used to design systems that incentivize desirable behaviors. The creation of kidney exchange clearinghouses demonstrates how game-theoretic principles can be used to solve real-world problems by aligning individual self-interest with social good. However, Clancy emphasizes that mechanism design is not a panacea and that designers must consider the potential for manipulation and the importance of incorporating ethical considerations into their designs. The main takeaway from Playing with Reality is that games are not just a reflection of our minds, but also a force shaping our world. They can be powerful tools for learning, innovation, and social change, but they can also be used to justify harmful ideologies and create systems that undermine human values. The book offers several heuristics. Be aware of a game's biases. Games reward us for believing in their precepts, which can blind us to alternative perspectives. Beware of mistaking models for reality. Games are simplifications, and their lessons don't always translate to the real world. Embrace play as a tool for learning and innovation. Play is not just a pastime, but a fundamental driver of human progress. Design systems that align with human values. Games can be designed to promote cooperation, fairness, and social well-being. Remember that humans are not just maximizers. We are complex, adaptable learners motivated by a range of values. By understanding the interplay between games and reality, we can better navigate the complex systems shaping our lives and create a more just and sustainable future. Thanks for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next book dive.